So, we have a quiz today. We're about to review. And we need to remember what the Pythagorean Theorem is. What is the Pythagorean Theorem? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Your quiz today is very similar to this. So if you're writing this down, asking good questions, you'll be ready. Okay? Now, where is A and B always going to be on a right triangle? They're called legs, and they're next to the right angle. So here's my right angle. So 4 and 9 have to be A and B. Doesn't matter which one's which. They're just A and B. Okay? So let's write this down. 4 squared plus 9 squared equals, and my C is across from 90. It's x squared. All right? So everyone has written that down, and you need to be able to solve it on your own. But let's do this together here. 4 squared, 4 times 4, what do we get? 16. 9 squared, 81 equals x squared. By the way, 9 squared is not 18. Remember, squaring is times the same number. Okay, what's 16 plus 81? 97. Everyone's got this down? So far we set it up, we squared, and in this case we add them together. Now, we bypassed the instructions, but what does it say at the top, right here? Leave in simplified radical form. That's when you make a factor tree. Let me just tell you exactly what I want. No decimals. Don't type it in and give me a decimal. The entire front side, all 1 through 5, no decimals, okay? When you get to the back of your quiz, then you're going to use decimals, because it's going to ask you for a length, a distance. Distance is always with decimals, okay? But here's the deal. Our last step on number 1, to get rid of this squared right here, I have to do the opposite, which is square root. So everybody, Pythagorean theorem, you always end with the square root, right? So we're not going to type it in, we're going to do a factor tree. So we want to ask ourselves, what is the factors of 97? Okay? Now, if I go to my calculator, and I did this earlier, but let's say I start trying to divide 97 by 2, or 3, or 5, or even 7, right? Every time it does not give me a whole number. Okay? 97 actually does not have any factors. What kind of number has no factors like that? What's it called? Prime number, okay? So, if you got a prime number that can't be broken down, then that's it. Square root of 97, okay? So, on your quiz, will you be able to do the Pythagorean theorem the same exact way? Let's try number 2. 2 is similar, but a little bit different, okay? What is A and B going to be on number 2? Okay, good. So remember, here's 90. This is A, and this is B. Too many people always think X is C. Not always, okay? So does everyone see this? A is 2, B is X. Let's write that down. 2 squared plus X squared equals, and then my C across from the 90 is 14 squared. Okay, so I want you to see the difference. I want you to notice on number 1, X was the hypotenuse, so that was my C squared. On number 2, X was a leg next to 90, so it was not C squared, it was B squared, okay? So there's a different location for X depending on the problem. But we solve it similarly. So 2 squared, 2 times 2, 4 plus X squared, 14 squared, 14 times 14, 196. Okay. And then, this time, 4 and 196 are on different sides. Okay, the 4 needs to get away from that X, because X needs to be by itself. So how do I get rid of that 4? Subtraction, right? Minus 4. Notice, number 1 we added because they were on the same side. Number 2 we subtracted because they were not on the same side. Okay, there's a difference. So 196 minus 4 is 192. And what's always my last step when I'm doing Pythagorean Theorem? What's that called? Square root. All right? Everyone knows this or not? I need the square root of 192, and I need some more room. So I'm going to bring this up here. Square root 192. Okay? Now this is when we make the factor tree. Okay? And I always start with 2, and since this is even, I'll divide by 2. So 2 times what is 192? 96, that's even, divided by 2. What do I get? 48, that's even, divided by 2. 24, that's even, divided by 2. That's even, divided by 2. Divided by 2. All right. It's a lot of 2's, right? And remember, every time you break it down, that number goes away. So I have 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay? Now, once I make my tree, what's my next step? Circle the pairs, the couples, right? Right, everybody, even in the corner of the room, if you're on your phone, right? Right, so, circle your pairs, circle 2, pair 2, pair 2, and everyone's writing this down, yeah? I got a 2 and a 2 and a 2. What do I do with those 2's? True. I multiply. Now, 2 times 2 times 2. Who thinks it's 6? No! What's 2 times 2? 4 times 2? 8. All right. So, again, don't add them, multiply them. Trick question, kind of. So, 8, square root, remember, whatever is circled goes out to the left, right? And then, what stays on the inside? 3, the loner, okay? Right here. This thing stays on the inside. Cool? So again, circle pairs, pairs go out and multiply, loners stay in and multiply. Alright? If that wasn't enough practice, let's try another one. So number 3, just do the factor tree stuff, because it says again, radical form. So, is it even? So it's divided by 2. 2 times, what's half of 1260? 630. That's even, so it's divided by 2. 2 times. Okay, 315. Not even, so let's try 3 now. Does 3 go into 315? Okay, and you could always divide these in your calculator, right? 315 divided by 3, you get 105. Let's try 3 again. And you would get 35. And then 35 is not 3, but 5 times 7. Okay? It should be 5 and 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Alright, so here's the deal. We got 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 7. Those are all our prime factors at the end of our tree. And once again, once we have our tree, what do? Circle our pairs. I got a pair o 2, pair o 3. So if I have my radical answer here, the 2 and the 3 that I circled go in or out? Out. So circled goes out, and I do what with them? Multiply. So 2 times 3 is 6. And my leftovers, 5 and 7, are going to go inside and multiply. 5 times 7, 35. Okay? Circled pairs go out to the left. Leftover loners go in on the right. Okay? Number 4. Okay? So, do y'all remember how to multiply square roots? Okay? If it says to multiply, what do I do with the outside numbers? Multiply. Okay? That's what that little dot means, right? So, right here. So, 5 times 2 is, on the outside we're going to have 10, square root, and then on the inside I have 7 and 3. What am I going to do with them? Again, multiply. 7 times 3, 21. Okay? If you can reduce it, that's cool, but this one does not reduce. So it's just 10 square root of 21. Okay? So you're going to be able to multiply on your quiz today. Outside times outside, inside times inside, and you're done. Unless you can reduce it. Okay? Next one. What about adding and subtracting? So this is what we call combining, but you can only combine what kind of terms? Starts with an L. Combining like terms, right? So what is like? What has the same square root here? Okay? So, what do you think? What has the same square root? Okay, it's square root of 3 and minus 3 square root of 3, right? This square root of 2 in the middle is not a like term. It doesn't match, right? So this 1 square root of 3 minus 3 square root of 3, you can actually do the math. So the coefficient, what's 1 minus 3? Negative 2. If you forget the negative, it's wrong. So please don't forget negative signs. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Square root of 3. The 3 does not change, right? That square root sign, when you're adding and subtracting, it's the same. And then what do we do with this leftover right here? Just rewrite it. Bring it down. Okay, that whole thing is your answer. You're only combining the terms that are the same square root. Okay? So again, on your quiz, you'll be able to tell me which square roots are the same and then add them up or subtract them, whatever you're doing. Okay? So far, so good? Eh? Now, we're not going to finish these, but on the back of your quiz, you got two, they look like word problems. Okay? And on these, it does not say reduced radical form, so you're going to give me decimals here. Okay? So actually type them in and get the decimal, right? All you got to do is label this correctly and then use Pythagorean Theorem. So is everyone still looking, right? Number 6, if you got a pool floaty and it's 8 feet long, you should probably put an 8 on the picture, right? And if it says that it is diagonal, 9.2, draw the diagonal. Y'all know what a diagonal is? Like this? 9.2. And it says find the width. Put an X there. That's just like number 2 on the front. Okay? It's a Pythagorean Theorem problem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Could you do Pythagorean Theorem? I hope so. Okay? And last but not least, not everyone plays baseball or knows what this is, so I'm going to tell you, okay? First base is over here. Third base is over here. If it asks you to find the distance between them, you need to draw a line across the field. And that makes a right triangle. Okay? So this is what I'm looking for. And it says the sides are all 80. Isn't that just a Pythagorean Theorem problem like number 1? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay? If you get stuck on those, don't hesitate to ask questions, but that's what your quiz is over. So again, Pythagorean Theorem, radicals, Pythagorean Theorem. Okay? And if you were so diligent and did what you were supposed to do, you can use your journal on your quiz.